Chapter 7. A jet passed over the river near the Meacham house, its thunder shivering every pane of glass. Bull awoke and tried to identify the plane by listening to its pitch. The plane sang in a deep tenor, and Bull decided that it was an F-8 in the morning sky, though he was not certain. He turned his wrist to the sun coming through the blue curtains into his room. It was 7 o'clock. He would give his family 15 more minutes of sack time, he thought, before he would wake them up. There was still a lot of policing up to be done around the yard and the house. It would be a good day for the work detail. He reached into his night table drawer and pulled a fresh cigar from it. He lit the cigar and blew a long pennant of smoke to the ceiling. It hit the ceiling, broke up, and fell disembodied back into the room. Lillian stirred in a half-sleep, caught the smell of cigar smoke, and smiled. The smoke filled the room, commingling with the warm scent of the river that spilled into the marsh 70 yards from their window. Colonel Meacham appreciated the eminence of ritual in relationship to the morale of troops in peace and war. He also understood its essential importance in giving his family a feeling of place and belonging in a new town. A family without ritual and order was a rootless tribe, subject to boredom and anarchy, lowered heads, pouting mouths, and sorrowing memories of friends left behind. At the center of the dilemma, it was a family whose leader had failed to provide the requisite guidance. He did not tolerate sadness or regret over a move in any member of his family, just as he did not tolerate poor morale among Marines in his squadron. He shaved and showered quickly, then put on his most faded and beloved fatigues, pulled the swagger stick from a top drawer, laced up his combat boots, and strode toward Ben's room. Ta-ta-ta-ra-ta-ta-ta. He played on an imaginary bugle. Do-do-do-do-do-do. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get up in the morning. Rise and shine, soldier. Hit the deck with your boots on and head for the damn trenches. The Japs are overrunning the camp. What? Ben said, coming out of a heavy sleep. Then he remembered the game and rolled off his bed, fingering a machine gun. By this time, his father had stolen into Matt's room, crawling on all fours. He shouted at Matt, "We gotta get these soldiers moving before the Jap artillery finds out where we're camped." He snatched the pillow from beneath Matt's head and rolled him to the floor. Matt was sleeping in the nude. "Little homo's sleeping naked," Bull roared. "Get your skivvies on and hit the battle stations on the double." Bull sprinted for the girls' room, where he shook Karen and Marianne, yelling, "The women will be raped by the slimy bastards if they don't man the trenches. Follow me to the ridge in the living room," he cried, plunging out the door and down the stairs in melodramatically elephantine steps. "I've always wanted to be raped by a slimy bastard," Marianne called after him. I wouldn't mind any kind of slimy bastard either." She turned over to go back to sleep. "You better come on," Karen said. "I never cared for his childish games," Marianne replied. Karen followed her father out the door and down the steps. She met Matt coming out of his room, holding a broom on his shoulder. "What's that, Matt?" she asked. "A bazooka," he answered. In the living room, Colonel Meacham had overturned the coffee table, his eyes scanning the dining room for troop movement. "Do you see anything, Sergeant?" the colonel cried to his son, Ben, dug in behind the flowered sofa where Okra slept. "Yes, sir," Ben yelled, sighting Matt and Karen, tiptoeing down the stairs. "Here come 300 crack troops from the Emperor's own regiment." "Don't fire," his father ordered, "until you see the yellow of their skins and the slant of their blue-loving eyes." The Marines fired in delirium, cutting down the first advancing wave of Japanese infantry. Death cries of Banzai, Kamikaze, and Minolta hovered over the battlefield, and the carnage of battle stained the beachhead a terrible crimson as the two Marines, employing the courage and wisdom of the Occident, prevailed in the first deadly moments of the assault. "Kill those sons of bitches, Sergeant," the colonel screamed above the din of battle. "These ain't Mother's Day cards I'm sending them," Ben replied toughly, while sliding a clip into his automatic. "Damn it, Sarge, here they come again, hundreds of them." Looks like curtains for us, Colonel. Sarge, I just want to say I've never fought with a braver man. Thank you, sir, Matt answered, and I ain't never fought with a bigger chicken shit in my whole life. Before Bull could answer, Matt and Karen charged from the hall. Here they come, Bull bellowed. Gosh darn yellow horde, and it looks like it's gonna be that proverbial hand-to-hand combat. Fix bayonets, Sergeant. The horde burst into their perimeter. Matt was shouting, Simba Barracuda! Simba Barracuda! As he ran. Matt lunged at Ben's throat, but was disemboweled by a quick thrust of a brass candlestick by Bull Meacham. Karen lingered in the hallway. You're dead, Matt Jap, Colonel Meacham declared. No, I'm not, Matt retorted. You only wounded me. Simba Barracuda, and Meacham lives. He then laid the broomstick on his shoulder and began pumping bazooka shells into Bull's midriff. Wounded my ass, Bull said. I cut your damn yellow guts out. I guess the big bazooka isn't doing any damage to your beer gut either. Yeah, sure, that's close. As the argument raged between the two enemies, Colonel Meacham, ignoring a classic principle of warfare, left his flank exposed to the sprinting figure of Karen, who exploded from the hallway, bearing a bathroom plunger in her hands. As Bull debated the state of Matt's ability to continue in the Holocaust, Karen stabbed the plunger into the dead center of her father's buttocks. I killed Daddy! I stuck him in the butt! Karen crowed in triumph. You only wounded me, the colonel countered angrily. Then you only wounded me, said Matt. You are dead, Matt Jap, the colonel answered. I am wounded. A good Marine can be brought down only when his heart stops beating. My heart's still beating. Ben was doubled up on the sofa giggling. Karen stuck the gray Santini in the butt with a plumber's friend. He was easier prey for Karen, who ran through him with no resistance. Shut up and fight, Jocko, Colonel Meacham shouted at Ben. Simba Barracuda, Matt shouted, thrusting his broomstick at his father. The battle raged on until Mrs. Meacham descended the stairs on her way to the kitchen. It's a regiment of Marines come to relieve us, the colonel cheered. America's finest coming in the nick of time, Ben shouted as his father hummed the Marine Corps hymn. Why do we always have to play the Japs, Matt whined. Yeah, we never get to play the Marines, Karen added. 'Cause you're a bunch of stinking Japs, Ben said, grinning and poking Karen with the candlestick. If I'm a Jap, then you're a Jap too, 'cause you're my brother. None of you are Japs, Colonel Meacham said, entering the argument. We're just conducting war games. In war games, somebody has to be designated as the enemy. When you get older, you'll be Marines. You just gotta prove yourself worthy first. Simba Barracuda, Matt said, as a form of agreement. What's this Simba Barracuda crap? The colonel asked. Matt picked it up when you were gone, Pops, Ben said. He thinks it strikes fear into the hearts of men. Anytime I'm about to fight someone, I yell, Simba Barracuda, real tough like. It works every time. You could yell Simba Barracuda at me until your butt fell off and it wouldn't bother me, Bull said. Then I'd have to use my other approach. I don't use this one unless it looks like curtains. What's that, sports fans? I sit real cool and tough. Hey, man, you mess with me and you'll have to answer to Angelo DeLucci. Who's he? Nobody, Dad. But people get scared when Big Matt talks about Angelo DeLucci. I don't get it, Big Matt, Bull said. What's so scary about an Italian? Italians have been known to do a little rubbing out, Pops. You haven't been watching the Untouchables overseas. What a bunch of horse crap. Ha ha, Angelo DeLucci. Simba Barracuda. At this moment, her face a portrait of scorn, Marianne walked through the middle of the war game and said, Is the war game over, creeps? Uh-oh, her father teased. Here comes Miss Hangcreep, morose as ever. Who was killed this morning? She continued, as though she had not heard her father. The Japs are the creeps. Here she comes, Miss America, Colonel Meacham sang. Dad, Marianne said, I'm writing a book about you. Good, Colonel Meacham answered, following her toward the kitchen. Couldn't find a more fascinating subject. Here's the first line. I was born to the beast on December 12, 1946. I like it. It captures my unique personality. Nothing could capture your personality. The English language is too limited. You're right, Mariana. I'm an enigma like a chink, but a great subject for literature. No doubt about it. You can be my Boswell. What a surprise, Dad, Marianne said, pulling out a chair by the kitchen table. How'd you know about Boswell? The old dad knows all kinds of things. Why, Bull, said Lillian sweetly, you keep it so well hidden. Bring me the chow, Bull said. Then, pounding on his chest, he shouted, It is I, Santini, the great Santini, soldier of fortune, beast of Ravenel, minister of death, and the best damn pilot in the Marine Corps. How much sugar does the beast of Ravenel want in his coffee? No sugar. I don't want nothing to make me sweet.